Well, looks like another rainy day on the good old grassy flatlands. Sorry if you all are getting bored with this map, but it just happens to be a nice fair map on which to play. And so a lot of times, especially in this case where one of my Steam friends asked me to play, I generally just play on the grassy flatlands because it is just a little more fair. That way no one ends up with a terrain advantage. And yes, I do enjoy playing on unbalanced maps, but you know, if it's someone that's wanting a match like this, then I tend to want to play on a flat, balanced map. In fact, I want to say that I joined this game, so I don't think I was the host in this game, obviously, because as you can see, we're playing on medium funds and also on medium unit size. Well, there goes my infantry. You can see some Landensschützen, and I believe I'm using, yeah, German Fusilier. Here's my general. I'm using the most expensive general that Austria has to offer, which is the Archduke Charles. And here he comes, riding past. There he goes. So I was going to show you in this battle the importance that a general plays in Napoleon Total War. And I think it's really interesting and neat that Creative Assembly decided to add the factor of having a good general into the battle. In fact, I think it adds to the realism of a Total War game in and of itself. If you recall from history, you can think of any number of great generals. Just to name a few of the ancient times: Alexander the Great, Hannibal, of course, Caesar, and many, many others. Good generals sometimes could turn what weren't necessarily the best troops into an effective army. Case in point, Alexander took and retrained an army in its own style of fighting. I know him and his father did, and then took it across a continent, basically. And so that took a great deal of leadership. Caesar did the same, united many troops under his cause. Hannibal, of course, took troops of all different nationalities and united them to his cause, and the cause of Carthage in that case. And here's my troops marching forward, and Archduke Charles is going to be supporting these troops heavily. You can see that the units I'm using are definitely not high-quality units. Landensschützen are the cheapest skirmishers available to the Austrians, and German Fusilier are the cheapest line infantry available to the Austrians. Speaking of which, I believe I'm using 6 German Fusilier. I have 2 units of cavalry, one on either flank. Here they are. I have a unit of Uhlans on either flank. And you can see, though, the morale of my troops is quite high, which the morale of your troops is always high at the beginning of the battle. Let's go take a look at what I'm up against. This is likely going to be a 2-part battle because I want you to see every bit of the action here. I thought this was a very good battle. My opponent was quite skilled and put up an interesting fight. He has 2 units of artillery. Here he has, and he's playing as Prussia, by the way, he has a unit of 12-pound foot artillery, which is about to open fire on me, so let's watch that. Here they go. And he also has a 7-pound howitzer. Let's take a look at his troops. My opponent has opted for a lot of line infantry and not so many skirmishers. Again, in Empire Total War this might have been faulty, but in Napoleon Total War this is definitely a sound strategy. Let's see how many units of musketeers he has. Looks like there's 4 up to the center. And then I want to say he's got, let's see, another musketeers, more musketeers, more musketeers, musketeers, and Prussian Fusilier. So, he has, I want to say 8 musketeers is what I came up with, and then this unit of Prussian Fusilier, which is a skirmishing unit, and then he has another skirmishing unit up front here, which is Silesian Schützen, and they are much better skirmishers than what I have, but I do have him outnumbered. My artillery, I didn't mention, I just have 1 unit of experimental howitzer, and I brought it because it fires the quicklime shot, and I was hoping to use that to my advantage. Fortunately for me, my opponent is not using his artillery targeting on my artillery. He's focusing on my infantry troops, and that's fine. That's a semi-sound strategy. He has me outnumbered badly in infantry, and by killing even more of my infantry, I think he's hoping that I won't have a chance to beat his men. And he stayed mostly here on his side of the map, but he did move somewhat to come up and engage me. But I think he knew that he had the artillery advantage, and he was going to push that advantage. which is smart, because I definitely have a skirmish advantage, and he shouldn't be in too large a hurry to attack me. Now, that being said, if I had his army, I would be in a big hurry to attack me. I would come and attack my forces and attack quickly, giving me little time to react and outflank me because he outnumbers me. But I'm not going to tell my opponents how they have to play. They can play how they want. And you can see that I'm opening fire with my Landenschützen, and they're not really accurate units, but they have a much better range than standard line infantry. Alright, you can see my skirmishers repositioning a bit. Notice that the morale of my men is still very high, even though they're under artillery fire. And the effect that Archduke Charles has on the troops is going to be large. And right now I'm keeping him at a safe distance, because I don't want him to be killed early in the battle. When you do bring an expensive general, you do need to take care of them. But again, I'm going to show you the outstanding effect that an expensive general can have. Well, here he is firing some artillery shots at my artillery, but fortunately for me they're not hitting. And here goes some of my first artillery fire. I fired some quicklime at these troops here and killed a pretty good number of them. You can see their corpses sitting in the grass here. So my experimental howitzer is causing some damage to my opponent's troops, and that's what I want.